YouTube. The season of the witch is here, and we got the new strand aspects that turns tangles into Beyblades. If you guys like this type of video, man, please leave a like and subscribe. We've been going crazy. Videos been going crazy. Look, I need you guys to like, subscribe, send these videos out, man. I'm telling you, we only gonna get lit from here. Again, like and subscribe to everything one-on-one. It's everything my familia. Let's get straight into the video. Alright, starting off with my exotic armor, we got the Soda-Rafni's facade. Now, this exotic is probably one of my most used because I love the grapple, and being able to grapple with having like 60% damage reduction is crazy. Like, you can survive a lot of things by just grappling and meleeing, grappling and meleeing, grappling and meleeing. Like, it's so much fun being able to grapple and then not being able to, and then damn near being immortal. You know what I'm saying? It's a little bit harder to do it in like Defiant Battlegrounds, because like when you get to the boss, your health is gonna tick if you outside the little dome thing. But other than that, man, you can survive damn near anything with this, man. This is a very, very, very good exotic. And if you do not have this exotic, man, make sure you grab this exotic. One of my favorites. It's really fun, especially with grapple, especially with this build, because with the grappling, you know, you can create more tangles when you melee them. So yeah. Now getting into the final warning exotic, my favorite strand exotic. Yes, Quicksilver is, the Quickstorm is fun, but final warning does it for me, man. They've been able to lock on to targets and to shoot them willingly. You can lock onto like 3 targets. It's so much fun to use, and like I said, a lot of people don't really use the final warning when it comes to strand builds, but it's so much fun to use. And after like you hit them, it has like unraveling things that just goes next to them, which creates tangles. Also, it does crazy amount of damage when you aim down sight against an enemy. It does more damage when you hip fire with this weapon. It does more to the body and it hits more targets. So that's a really cool, neat perk for this exotic. It's a sidearm too. So again, if you do not have this exotic, go ahead, grind it out, get this exotic, but it's very underrated. It's not as good as damage wise with the Quicksilver. It's just, Quickstorm, my apologies. It's just way more fun to use, and with this build, it just makes it more fun to use, I'm telling you. But yeah, but now we're gonna get into the subclass, the aspects, and the fragments. Let's get it. Subclass, we're going to be starting off with the Silk Strike. For an ability, we're going to be using Gambler's Dodge instead of Marksman Dodge. You want to be able to reload your melee better than your weapons. Now, for our grenade, most people would use Shackle, which I would recommend Shackle, but because we are going to be using the Facade headpiece, Grapple is the best to go. You're going to get Woven Mail, and Woven Mail is going to go to one of my fragments, which will give you, be able to create tangles, which is pretty cool. And with Woven Mail, when you use your grapple, you get like 60% damage reduction, which is really cool. Now we're going to get into the bread and butter, the fun part of the build, the new aspect that Strand just got for this new season of the Witch DLC. Now, destroying a tangle will weave a violent weaving mass of strand fibers. The strand mass seeks out and damages targets, emitting unraveling projectiles when it's defeating them. Now, this is actually, this is probably one of the best crowd control aspects, one of the best crowd control in the game. Like, this really shreds enemies. Like, at first glance, when I first saw it, I didn't think it was all that strong until I realized like it really is strong. Like, this it's really good. Like, if you don't have it, man, grab it. It's a really good, really good aspect. Also, we're going to be using Widow Speed because we want to be able to get that second grenade charge, just in case we. Well, yeah. Also, too, with this aspect, you can also grapple to that, so it's an infinite grapple, which is pretty cool too. But yeah, with Widow Speed, we're going to have an extra grapple, extra grenade charge, just in case we use it and we don't have a tangle to grapple to, or we didn't set one up. We can go ahead and get 2 just in case and still have one ready. Now, going with our fragments, we're going to be starting off with a Thread of Ascent. Activating your grenade ability reloads your equipped weapon and grants bonus airborne efficiency and handling for a short duration. Now, this is really cool because you get instant reload while you're using this, and because you're going to have a lot of tangles being created, you can have infinite ammo And on top of that, it's just like it recharges really fast for your grapple, because you're going to be using kickstart for one of your mods too, which we're going to get into a little bit later. But that's going to be pretty cool. You're basically going to be having infinite like ammo reloaded into your weapon without even reloading it yourself. And then right here, which is another really good fragment, we're going to be using STRAND transportation. While you have woven mill, weapon final blows creates a tangle. This is another reason why you're able to create more tangles. With this aspect, gives you more tangles, and with your artifact you have a chance to create tangles. So we want to be able to create as much tangles as much as possible. We are also using threat of generation, dealing damage, generates grenade energy. You're going to be doing so much damage to the point where you're going to be getting your grenade energy back. Like, so now it's just like you have an infinite loot of grapples, which is pretty insane. Now last but not least, we're going to be using threat of continuity. Suspends, unravel, and sever effects applied to targets have increased duration. This is really cool. You want to be able to have enemies suspended for as long as possible. That's one of the best crowd controls in the game, if not the best. And then we got unravel, which is pretty cool. You want to be able to unravel enemy and sever enemies when you use your melee too. So it's like a debuff, which is pretty cool. But yeah, that's it for the abilities, the aspects, and the fragments. Let's go into the mods. To my artifacts, you guys can see right here, I am using, I'm not fully maxed out yet, obviously, but I'm using on the 5th slide, you're going to be using this right here. Strand weapon final blows have a chance to create tangles. You want to be able to create as much tangles as possible with this build, because I'm telling you, you're going to be doing a lot of damage and killing a lot of enemies with the new aspects that makes your tangles turn into blades basically, which is pretty neat. So that's pretty dope. Now going to our stats, obviously if you're doing anything PvE, you want to have max resilience, which is 100. And because we're going with the grapple, which is a grenade, you want to get maxed out discipline, so you can lower your 41 seconds, you can lower your recharge, and then have mods that can also lower it even more, which is pretty neat. Other than that, I would say go more into intellect. That's really it if you can. As you guys can see, my intellect, this is my next highest. You want to be able to get your super as fast as possible, but again, with this build, the amount of damage you're going to be doing with your melee, you're going to be getting your super really quick. Now for our mods, as you guys can see right here, I'm using Strand Soundphone. I'm also using hands-on. I'm also using focus and strike, and then melee kickstart, which is really good, because when you stretch out your strand to create a little orb so you can strand to every single time, that's going to take out less energy, so it's going to be like half, which is pretty cool. Then I'm also going to be using charged up. You want to be able to increase the maximum number of stacks of armor charge. And then we got arc resistance and water resistance. You can go whichever resistance you want depending on what type of content you're doing, honestly. Now you can see I'm using better already. This generates my health immediately after picking up an orb, which is pretty cool. And then right here, this also replenishes my health each time you pick up an orb. So this regenerates and this replenishes it, because you want to be able to get your health back as much as possible when you're picking up orbs. This right here also reduces all ability cooldowns each time you pick up an orb of power, which is pretty cool. You want to be able to reduce your ability cooldown as much as possible to get your melee. And then we're also using these for my cloak, which is pretty cool. But yeah, that's really it for the video, man. If you guys like this type of video, man, please leave a like and subscribe. This is what everything water and water is everything. My familia, I'm out.